All right. Part of this is going to be a test. I just want to check to make sure. I'm going to wait for y'all to come in and everything else like that, and that's cool. Um, Part of it is I wanted to test that, make sure that everyone. I gave a lot of folks wrenches. I gave a lot of y'all mod power, so hopefully that worked out. I was going to test that, but also I want to do a brief thing. I've talked about it before, but just in case for the new folks, how I feel about being an American, and more specifically, being a white American. The reality is that a lot of folks are going to be like, you know, this is, white folks bad, this and that sort of thing. Oh, slavery or any of this type of thing, or oh, they're connected with Europeans and they're evil. I would say is that nowadays we're all kind of separated from all that. Okay. Do y'all have okay, I think I gave everyone a wrench, right? Let me go ahead and let me double check YouTube right quick and make sure. Because I really wanted to do it for that. I was just ranting and rave. I could rant and rave about a lot of subjects. I wanted to double check here. Let me double check. Yep. Okay. Y'all all got the wrenches. Good. Okay. I just wanted to double check on that. All right. Everyone got the wrench? Cool. Okay. I was going to say this about Americans, or about white Americans in general. European Americans, if you will. And the European Americans, same with, yep, you got the power. You do. I got the power. Yeah. I would say is that with European Americans is, we're one of those lost ones. It's like that song by Jay-Z. Of course, he was talking more about lost ones because they're talking about money. But yeah, Ole, I think I gave Ole. I think you got a wrench too, right? I just want to make sure here because yeah, everybody I gave like 18 wrenches out, so I think we should be good. I think everybody that normally is in the stream should have a wrench. I think Ole, did I give you a wrench? Let me see. I think I can do it from here. Let me see. Apologies for the double echo here. Let me double check. Oh yeah, let me see if I can give you a wrench, buddy. Yeah, there you go. Now you got a wrench. Okay. Yep. Okay, now Ole got the wrench. Okay. Now Ole got the wrench. There we go. Ole got the power now. I'm sorry. I hadn't checked that. But yeah, now Ole got the power. Everybody's got the power to post links and can do whatever the case may be in any sort of random. There you go. Yeah, but you got the wrench now, Ole. And you got the juice now. You got the juice. But I was gonna do this right quick and just to kind of say for lost ones. I'm gonna try not to repeat myself because I know it's easy for me to repeat myself because I'm kind of a boomer. But I feel like white Americans, the Boers and Afrikaners, they're all, we're all kind of in that same boat of we're never going to be seen as one of the homeland again, And you can say what you will about that. Ron kind of green. Oh, really? Oh, the manufacturing Greta Thunberg. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, forget what I was talking about. Screw what I was talking about. That was some boring bullshit anyway. It was just boring coke. Let me see what we got here. So, manufacturing Greta Thunberg for consent, the political economy of the nonprofit act. Let me see what we got here. I'm gonna actually, well, I can't do it like that. Okay. Yeah. Honestly, the next power up should be a DPRK uniform with all those medals. Yeah, there you go. One day, it's coming. Let me go ahead and look at this right quick. Okay. Wrong kind of green, January 17, 2019. Oh, wow. You got Catwoman. That Catwoman? Or is that like a different, I'm sorry. Americans are just like, oh, that Catwoman? And speaking about, yeah. Hiroyuki Hamada. I've heard that, yeah. What's infuriating about manipulations by the nonprofit industrial complex is that they harvest the goodwill of the people, especially the young people. Yep, that's true. They target those who are not given the skills and knowledge to truly think for themselves by institutions which are designed to serve the ruling class. Capitalism operates systematically and structurally like a cage to raise domesticated animals. That's true. Those organizations and their projects which operate under the false slogans of humanity in order to prop up the hierarchy of money and violence are fast becoming some of the most crucial elements of the invisible cage of corporatism, colonialism, and militarism. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'm still kind of in that mindset, so I can't really say any more of that. But, hopefully in time, even though I'm older, hopefully I can escape that to a point. Yep. Disclose that Greta Thunberg, the current child prodigy in the face of the youth movement to combat climate change. This is some good stuff. I'm gonna actually read through this here. This is some good stuff. Yeah. Take a closer look at the Green New Deal. I explored data for progress in targeting the female youth as a key demographic. Yep. Yeah, that's true. They did some hella good marketing, I'll tell you that. And unfortunately, I will say this, is that within the left-right paradigm that we have, the false left-right paradigm is that the left is forced to defend Greta Thunberg because she's doing good enough, even though realistically, they know that, I think that the smarter lefties know that she is nothing more than a neo-lib shill, but they feel like they have to defend her. Yep, exactly, yep. Yep, everybody's got the, yeah. Did I give, Papi Chulo. Oh, here we go. Let me go ahead and give you the moderator. There you go. You got the power now. You got the power. You got the juice, baby. Everybody's going to be modded. There we go. Don't worry, Papi Chulo. You join the group. Once you type something in next, my man Papi Chulo got the power now. Everyone's got the power. They can post their links and whatnot. That way my boomer self can show it. Yep, exactly. Yep. Now you got the power. Yep. I'm going to treat this like elementary. I'm going to treat it like American elementary school. Everybody gets a prize. But, that way it's easier. That way y'all can keep out the riffraff, this and that. Sometimes, occasionally get the trolls. Once in a while. Not that much, but still. Once in a while. You want one too? Okay, yeah, fine. So what? We'll go ahead and give you moderator power. Why not? I don't even care at this point. Everybody gets one. You get a car. Why not? Everybody gets a wrench. Everybody gets a wrench today. Everybody gets one. Why not? It's one of those things. I remember, I was just following. I'll give this shout out to Constantine's commentary. I'm just thinking about this randomly, but I remember Constantine's commentary. Y'all should check him out if y'all haven't. But, I know that, a lot of y'all are more left-wing and everything. So that's cool. What I was going to say is that Constantine's commentary, I remember I was just following him and occasionally made comments, just listening to his streams with the GSP. And then I remember just typing out and I was like, dadgum, he gave me moderator power? Damn. That's like one of the only times I ever got moderator power. On YouTube, I was like, damn. You know what I mean? I was like, oof. Please check this one. Okay, let's see what we got here. Murphy Blast UN on Israel criticizes Obama. Okay. Oh. Fine, I'll just enable ads. Oh. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Let me go ahead and share the screen for this one. I'll go ahead and share the screen. There we go. Okay. There we go.
I'm not going to work.
Okay, Murphy Blast UN on Israel criticizes Obama.
Turn that off.
Oh.
Turn that off.
Okay, this is Murphy Blast. Okay.
Enable ads.
That's some good stuff, though. I'm going to read that on another stream, but that's some good stuff,
Okay,
though.
thank you.
Okay, Murphy Blast UN on Israel.
Let me go ahead and share the screen for this
Obama.
one.
I'll go ahead and share the screen. There we go. Okay. So yeah, we're talking more about the Senator Chris
There we
Murphy.
go.
I'm gonna be
I'm not
honest
gonna
with y'all.
work.
Murphy
I did
Blast
think so.
UN
That's
on
how
this
it
guy
is.
sounds like he's
Obama.
going to have
Turn
some
that off.
serious power.
Oh, turn that off.
So I think that,
This is
maybe we
Murphy
should try to
Blast.
keep
Okay,
an eye on
ads.
this dude.
That's
A
some
lot
good
of
stuff,
folks
though. I'm
aren't
gonna
really
read that
talking
on
about
another
Well,
stream.
maybe they
That's some
have,
good
and I just
stuff.
haven't
Thank you.
noticed.
That's probably true.
Okay, Murphy Blast UN on
Senator Chris
Israel
Murphy on
on
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
so
So
this
this
is
is back
Obama.
in what day?
I'll go ahead and
This is
share the
back in like
screen.
Okay, this is like 2016. Okay, so this is yeah. We're talking more about Senator Chris Murphy on Wednesday. I did a Security Council vote last week declaring Israeli settlements in West Bank illegal.
Maybe we should try to keep an eye on that.
Criticizing President Barack Obama for failing to shield the U.S. ally from the vote.
That's probably true.
Okay, Murphy Blast. Senator Chris Murphy on Wednesday abstained Friday on the vote condemning Israel, allowing it to pass 14-0. Okay, this is like 2016. Okay, so the UN is just fundamentally today on Wednesday not a fair forum for Israel. Security Council vote by Democratic Senator Israeli settlements in a 1-hour talk on a range of issues at the Mandela President Barack Obama for failing to shield the U.S. is not a place in which Israel is going to get a fair look. Senator Chris Murphy on Wednesday abstained on the Israel, condemning Israel, allowing it to pass 14-0. Okay, this is like 2016. Okay, so the UN is just getting double input. Oh shit! Okay, my bad. Let me go ahead and do. Okay, let me go ahead and mute myself. Let me go ahead and mute it right there. My bad. Okay, check this one out next. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let me go ahead and stay on. Yeah. Okay, let me go ahead and turn that off right there. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, I'll just try to Yeah, when I do that, oh man, it's gonna be okay. I guess when I open it up back again, I'll do the yeah. He's gonna read this entire article. I'm not gonna read every single minute. I'll read enough of it. Okay. All right. Ultimately, the only path to the two-state solution is between the Israelis and the Palestinians holding the cards. He said. Okay. The Connecticut Republican Party accused Murphy of avoiding the issue. We always seem to hear from you, except when you have to take a stand for Israel. You become Senator Silent, the GOP said in a statement. Senator Richard Blumenthal issued a statement Wednesday saying he is deeply disturbed and disappointed at the abstention. A speech Wednesday by Secretary of State John Kerry defending the U.S. position in the Security Council and criticizing Netanyahu failed to dispel my strong concerns, he said. Kerry's address today was remarkably remiss in recognizing Israel's record for seeking peace and did nothing to advance it. Ooh, boy. So people are really hammering this guy. Okay. I mean, obviously. I'm going to work with him if he's proposing. Let me make sure here. Yeah. Yeah, the double audio was great. My bad. Yeah. I'm very bad with that. I don't know how audio works. I'm too boomer. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'll try not to do that. All right, so let me see what we got here. There are a lot of capable generals and there's some really smart billionaires, Murphy said, but they don't have a monopoly on wisdom. On the other hand, he said Trump's nominee for Secretary of Defense, retired Marine Corps General James Mattis, is definitely qualified for the position. A lot of people scoffed at the idea that Donald Trump would end up being the president of the United States. Okay. He said he backs changing the presidential voting to require Connecticut's electoral college votes to cast ballot. Okay. Okay. So this is just all the new shit that happened. Yeah. The Chris guy doesn't really sound like this Chris Murphy dude. It sounds like he's just trying to be the typical politician and trying to hedge bets. That's what I feel like. But yeah. That's crazy. Okay, so let's see here. The Revolutionary Conservative. Oh boy, let's be careful about this. We'll try to be careful. Okay, from the front lines. Oh yeah, I gotta be careful about reading this stuff on stream. I gotta be careful about reading the real deep-ish. But yeah, that's there's some good stuff, I'm sure. See what we got here. Nietzscheanism. Okay, we ain't gonna go that far. We don't want to. I'm gonna be very careful about that. That's just me. But yeah, but yeah. Honestly, you know what? I think I have a couple videos that I could comment on and I can give my commentary on. Let me do that right quick. I think I put a couple in there. And don't worry, they're not just Bo with the fifth column. I think I got rid of those anyway. I'm gonna watch that later. Let me see here. Okay. Sorry. YouTube Studio. Boop 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 doo. Taking its time. Playlists. Okay. There we go. Stream videos. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me get my. Okay. We're not even gonna worry about the other one. Okay. We're not even gonna worry about the. Let's talk about Trump pardoning. We're not gonna do that. We don't care. They're going to have to do that. Hold on. Okay. Parallel networks. So parallel networks is where what's his name went, the other Chungus guy. There we go. The other Chungus, the people, the what is it? The National anyway, you know what? We're going to go ahead and comment on this from this Daryl Davis. He was the guy that infiltrated the Ku Klux Klan. Ironically, I mean, a brother getting involved with that, but he went toe to toe with the Ku Klux Klan. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into that right quick. Okay, that sounds cool, Aunt Cousin. All right.
For quite a while now, it's been well documented and predicted that this country, which has always been a white rule majority, is gonna change in 22 years from now. In the year 2042, it will become 50-50, 50% white, 50%.
Don't worry. Hold on.
Non-white.
There we go. Don't worry.
Black, Asian, Hispanic, and anything else. And while there are a lot of white people who embrace that idea and say, hey, I'm cool with that, that's just evolution, no problem, there is a certain contingency that are becoming unhinged about it. Because when you have sat on the throne of power for 401 years, that's how long ago I came here in 1619 as the descendants of slaves. You don't want to get off that power. Heck, we can see that right now. We got somebody who's only been in power for 4 years. He doesn't want to get off the throne, right? So, that's nothing new. This country was built on a two-tier society, white supremacy and slavery. And as we progress through the years, we progress like this, perhaps like this, but never like this. Okay, and so when you've had that kind of power for that long, it's hard to relinquish it. So that's going to happen.
Thing is, this is okay. My main critique about this already is going to be this is far too simplistic. And the thing is, like I say, the game doesn't change. It's just the players. Once white folks are out, demographically speaking and everything else, there's going to be another group that's going to take over. Now, I can believe what a commenter said is that, we're all hurting and eventually all human beings will, be wiped out. But it's like, maybe I have too much of a honky mentality, but this is just far too simplistic, in my opinion, to be like, oh, well, once things are more equal, then no.
We're going to be 50-50. And I think, some of these people, they're fearing that. They're fearing retaliation. They're fearing losing power. They're fearing, white guilt, all kinds of stuff. And so they're acting out. In our recent history, as long as I can remember, we've had an administration that, for lack of a better term, I don't want to say promotes it, but encourages it, this acting out, through dog whistles and other things and his own behavior, that people interpret that as, we need to take charge here. And so, we have things like Charlottesville.
Yeah, how many people went to Charlottesville? how many people were arrested because of Charlottesville or in jail? So what are you talking about?
Other things, that have gone on. We have people.
Okay, we're going to skip to the end because I see that y'all got other stuff. So let me go ahead.
Because
strengthen, unify, don't divide. It's not going to work. That doesn't work amongst everybody, man.
The coronavirus is kind of a bittersweet thing. The bitter part, of course, is 230,000 Americans have died as a result of this virus. And all of those did not have to die had we been proactive, as we should have.
Like China. China was proactive. But yeah.
And not calling it a hoax and not wearing masks and doing all the things that we've been advised by scientists and doctors.
So once again, though, this sets up the scientists and doctors becoming part of a professional managerial class that will be over everybody else. And the fact is that they will overstep their bounds. The fact is that once Joe Biden comes in officially, scientists are going to have much more power, and I'm sure that regardless of their ethics, this and that, or their morals, once they have that sort of power, you don't think that they're going to overstep their bounds? Come on, of course they will.
But the other part of it is there was a lockdown. People are home. They're not at work. What do they do when they can't go to work and they can't go out in the streets? Places are closed. They watch TV. And they watched the lynching of George Floyd unfold before their eyes.
Well, we don't watch TV. We watch the internet. But yeah, okay. And then we saw other video of that after, months after his death.
And now they have time to do that introspection and say, oh my God, that's what they've been talking about for years. I can't believe I'm seeing this. I must do something. And despite the health danger to their own physical well-being.
They should have stayed inside, those little bastards. Is that what you're trying to say?
From this virus that was out there. They went out on the streets and marched night after night after night.
This is just more people co-opting this. I saw this take. I think it is true, but I think that it's kind of obvious. But this is how co-option works, is that manufacturing consent is that ultimately these riots started as more of a purely natural sort of thing. This was purely grassroots sort of whatever happened. Once people were turning over cars and stuff like that, and they broke into the Target in Minneapolis, and all the looting and everything else like that. But then you'll notice is that now BLM has taken control of that narrative. A lot of a lot of dumb fucks getting their ass whooped and everything else. The co-option has come about. So it's interesting to think about nonetheless.
They're still doing it to bring about that change. Again, that collective voice. We've always marched. But now
once again though, are you going to talk about Chaz at all? I don't think you are, but okay. Maybe he did earlier. I don't know. This guy is famous because he had a TEDx talk where he was, the thing is that this guy, and I'm trying to be careful, not saying this because he's black or anything else. I would say this about no matter if he was white or black or whichever color. This brother gets money from talking about anti-racism. This brother gets money from, being at TEDx talks. Because I imagine you don't just go up there for free. They were like, hey, $10,000 or $25,000, And of course, he'll give his takes on the Ku Klux Klan and everything else, right? That's his job.
The people that we need are marching with us. And that's why we need to make sure that we keep that intact and not let it go back to what it was 20 years ago. Well, one of the best ways is to edify and promote parallel networks that specializes in combating this type of racism. And
okay, hold on. Let me double check here. So of course, that's a good plug. 18 views. This came out like maybe 10 hours ago, something like that. They don't show how many subscribers they have. So obviously it's like they told him to say that, and they slipped him $100 bill and said, hey, can you say that, Parallel Works does a good job? Here you go.
I think, you're right about the term anti-racist. It's getting a negative connotation.
Oh, really?
We know what it means. We know what it's about. It's not necessarily about violence and this, that, and the other. And
give me, brother. The thing is, once again, just like anything else, is that it gets fucked up. And that there's always a group of hard-headed motherfuckers that are going to actually do what they mean they say. So when you say that someone is anti-religious, or that they're atheists, they become anti-theists. That's why they had to make up that word anti-theist, who, for someone that's going to burn the church down or is going to dig up nuns and all that other. Anyway, I've gone on and on about that, but it's like the thing is, you just don't want to be involved with that, and you know what? You can't. It's already there.
And go out and kill all racists and punch a Nazi in the face and all this kind of stuff. Yes, that is anti-racist behavior, but it's also counterproductive anti-racist behavior.
You don't get to decide, bro. You don't get to decide, brother.
So, and then you have other groups, one being like Antifa and some other ones that just are not going to tolerate racism, and they're going to combat it physically, etc. Again, that's another anti-racist approach, but that's what gives the people on the other side the definition of anti-racism, because they're going to see the negative. So perhaps, change the narrative from anti-racism to perhaps pro-humanity.
You might as well say global citizen and see how that works. I mean, look, I get that this is basically just a form of marketing. This is basically just changing up the words to make it sound good. This is like changing from Chaz, autonomous zone, to CHOP. It's an organized protest. That's why I used to try to, I went along with the narrative and said CHOP for a while. Now I just say, no, it is Chaz. They wanted it to be an autonomous zone. They're just trying to change words to make it sound better, to make it softer, so that they can look better in people's eyes.
Rather than be anti anything.
Or more specifically, it's advertising more than anything else, not necessarily marketing. I know marketing and advertising are two different things. I do remember my teacher, who's now retired, did say that. But yeah, go ahead.
That would be one thing, because it's sort of like this. Words are very powerful, depending upon what words you choose. When you're asked to describe a group of predominantly white men who go out in the woods in camouflage, and they dislike the government, and they practice all these paramilitary maneuvers and survivalist tactics.
Militia.
The name they're given is militia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Even I could see that.
But when you have a group of Black people who do the exact same thing, they're not called militia. They're called militants. And even though it's the same thing, the term militant has a little more negative connotation than the term militia.
I don't think this guy was around in the 1990s. The thing is, I should find a video about that or find some sort of article. Particularly the Michigan militia. It's always Michigan, isn't it? But the Michigan militia, was a pretty big thing in the 1980s, and the United States government cracked down hard on militias. They cracked down hard on them. So this idea, once again, that you say that militias are militants, once again, is he going to talk about specifics like the Not Fuck Around Coalition versus, I don't know, the 3 percenters? No, he's not going to, because he knows that will get him in hot water. So
I'm just making that analogy from, pro-humanity to anti-racist. It's the same thing, but one, as a result of a lot of violence that has followed.
The reason that he says that, I think, as well, is that cartoon that White Rabbit did. I am an anti-racist. If y'all will remember that from, anyway.
In anti-racism, it is given that term sort of a negative connotation.
All right. Well, as you see, that's what that was about. I don't know. What y'all think about that? Yeah, many leftists in the end did become disillusioned with Chaz. Yeah, Sherman Klump got old. Yeah, I completely broke with anarchists. Because of Chaz, I never cared for it, but I wasn't. Hard on it. Yeah. Media supported them despite saying that anti-lockdown protests were bad because COVID. Yeah. Like I said, it's just people get back to being wage cucks. Yeah, that's true. Yep. So that was that. Okay, don't worry, I'm not gonna make y'all listen to Calm Down. Don't worry, I'm not gonna make y'all do that. Okay. Woman accused of impersonating prosecutor dropping all charges against her. Oh my goodness. Woo. Okay. Wow. A Littleton woman allegedly impersonated a Hillsborough County Hillsborough County prosecutor when she filed bogus state documents with court officials declaring that the drug possession and stalking case against her had been dropped. Oh, wow. Faced charges of false personation and 6 charges of falsifying physical evidence. Wow. Became suspicious when they heard from a state forensic examiner who had been scheduled to perform a competency evaluation on Landon. The examiner saw a notice in Landon's court file that prosecutors had dropped charges. The examiner wanted to know if the examination should go forward. The file purported to contain a non prosequi, drop the charges, filed by Assistant County Attorney Patrice Kazian. But it quickly became evident to the state that the document, as well as other documents in the file, had been filed fraudulently. Indictments allege that Landon also filed an order falsifying the decision of retired Superior Court Judge Jillian Abramson to waive filing fees in a lawsuit she brought against Hillsborough County. And she allegedly filed an order on behalf of a relative to halt guardianship proceedings. History includes criminal charges. Wow. So this one is very slick. Okay. 2020 election is not rigged according to, Republican experts. Yeah. Yeah, this sounds like nonsense. Story continues. Let's go ahead and see here. Yeah. Everything at the Board of Elections is completely bipartisan. Other people are saying it's not. Yeah. Oh boy. But that's Yahoo News for you. That's the lowest level of news right there is Yahoo. Okay.
My grandma, she's a very wise lady, and a lot of the things I say in my videos are actually quotes from her, and I kind of just steal it from her. I'm actually going to give her credit on this time. I'm going to give her some credit. Grandma said something to me as a child that I found very interesting. She said,
Oh, really? Okay. Let me see what we got here. Each political thoughts on this. Okay, let me see what we got here. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what we got here with this one. Stop with the this and that. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I'll put this one. Should probably do it like this. That way I can find a dividing line. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right.
when there's a fire, people will spend forever looking for a dragon instead of looking for the perfectly good pair of matches on the ground. And by that, I mean this. You know, Grandma, she had an 8th grade education. She grew up in the 60s and 70s, and she was a very intelligent woman.
Yeah. All right.
I found that I couldn't understand what she was saying as a child, but I understand it completely as an adult. And that's why I love my grandma, because she had a wisdom about her that a lot of people right now on the right could definitely use and listen to. An old woman who didn't even finish high school, who appears to have more intelligence than some people out there with these conspiracy theories. Let's get into the conspiracy theories that I've heard. Sharpiegate. Okay. Let me explain to you Sharpiegate. Sharpiegate is when some people are claiming that the election machines are being gunked up because they aren't allowed to use pens. They've been given Sharpies instead. It's been happening across the country, especially in Pennsylvania. Now, let me explain to you what that is, because I've actually seen footage of this, and I as a journalist, I actually use my press badge. I call around the country and I ask questions. You know what I've been told constantly? The reason why they're doing this is because Sharpies dry faster than pens. Okay, and
hold on.
Oops, sorry.
Oh boy. Of course, it's like. There we go. So where's it? Okay. All right, give me a minute there, folks. Okay. So Sharpies are easier to use than pens, huh? Okay. Let's hear some more.
Tell you this with common sense, right? You take an average pen, and especially if it's got like it's one of those felt pens. It's one of those real heavy pouring ballpoint pens. It's one of those types. It can take a little while for that to dry, and that can gunk up the machine, especially given the unprecedented voting amounts. Yeah, sure, that little amount of ink doesn't seem like a whole lot. But when you start scanning in over 100,000 ballots, that can add up in terms of gunking up the machine. So using a Sharpie, you can actually see if you take a pen, take a Sharpie, you mark it on a piece of paper, right? You mark with that Sharpie. Where you're gonna notice is that you can make an indent with that pen versus that Sharpie. That Sharpie is basically gonna dry a whole lot faster. That's the only reason why they did that. Okay. The other conspiracy theory that I've heard is how there's certainly all these ballots started popping up. Well, those are the mail-in ballots, from what I understand. What I've been told by not only Democrat election officials, but Republicans too in Pennsylvania. I'm telling you straight from the horse's mouth what I've been told.
Now, what I would say to that in response is there are plenty of votes. I mean, plenty of ballots that have disappeared. There have been, literally, entire files full of ballots that were tossed in the back of a FedEx truck. And there's a guy filming it. And they're just, it's like, hey, what you doing, guy? It's like, oh, I'm not doing anything. So what the hell with that? Maybe he'll answer that question for me.
Okay. Now, that explains that. The other one that I've heard is that the watchers weren't allowed, the Trump officials and Republican poll watchers weren't allowed into the polls. Not only is that not true, yesterday I was watching a live stream from the amazing Megan Lucas live stream. He's another content creator. And in that live stream, he was showing us that in Pennsylvania, you had one guy claiming, well, they didn't let us into the freaking polling station, but then directly afterwards, you see a selfie. Some of the same people saying that they were not allowed into the polling station. You saw selfies with the poll workers. So how were you not allowed into the polling station, but I see selfies? All right. The other one that I've heard consistently, this is the one that just baffles me, right? Was that it's somehow messed up that we're counting ballots after November the 3rd. Let me explain something to you. I voted while I was deployed in my local election. Okay, I was in Kandahar, Afghanistan. There was a local election that was happening at that time.
Yeah.
Okay. And I had to send in a mail-in ballot because at that time, during that last deployment, my final deployment while in the military, I was with the South Carolina National Guard.
See, here's part of the problem. This is, I'll tell you what one of the main problems is with the voting system, is that states get to choose how they can do it. And they're either centralized or decentralized. Texas, for example, is decentralized. This is something I've heard quite a bit. I didn't even pay attention to it. I didn't even give a shit. But now I'm starting to pay attention to it. It's a decentralized system. With Texas, 254 counties. Each county has it a little bit differently, I imagine. And they set up, different spots and everything else like that. But as far as I know, at least the county that I'm in, which I'm not going to tell you, you do it electronically. So there's no ballot. You don't have to feed it into any machine. You simply do it online. It's covered. They give you a number. You get it. Or actually they print off your receipt. You enter in that code. You do your voting. And they give you the sticker. And then off you go. That's it. With these other states, they still have the paper ballots, but this time, you fill it out with a pen. We don't do the hanging Chad thing because we learned from 2000, That's what I would really love is that why don't we have a standard idea behind, all across the board. I imagine it can't be the case that way because the states just wouldn't allow it. The states would, throw a fit and say, well, no, that's not right. But the thing is, if there was a standardization across the board, this would solve a lot of problems. But I don't think they want to do that. So just my little side note there. Let's go ahead and continue.
Okay, so we had local elections at that time. And South Carolina National Guard, our commander.
Oh, no, just didn't get one. Oh.
In the freaking top. He had a big old top. Called a briefing. And he said,
no, just you want one? Okay.
We have mail-in ballots.
Let's go ahead and help my man Noges.
We had to. I even remember because I was so upset.
There we go. He got one.
I wish that
he got one. There you go.
Like letterheads with the APO APO address, but I kind of get why they couldn't do that. But to kind of write that APO address out when I gotta mail out like 30 other freaking letters to my family and to bill collectors.
Everybody's got one now.
It just got annoying. So. I remember writing out the APO address for my mail-in ballot. I remember doing that. So the reason why they were counting some ballots after November the 3rd is because they were soldiers deployed in combat. And if you want a guaranteed civil war, you want bloodshed in the streets, deny soldiers, trained killers the right to.
Let me tell you something. You know why I laugh at? Okay, hold on. Let me go back and make sure I get that whole quote because I kind of just. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I remember doing that.
Yeah.
So the reason why they were counting some ballots after November the 3rd is because they were soldiers who were deployed in combat. And if you want a guaranteed civil war, you want bloodshed in the streets, deny soldiers, trained killers the right to vote.
Let me tell you something. The soldiers kind of made fools of themselves this summer by getting down on one knee. Well, where the hell was it this summer? With all those protests and everything else, you saw those folks get down on a knee. They lost my respect. The military, I've lost a lot of respect for the United States military as it is for numerous reasons, mostly due to politics and mostly due to just doing some wacky shit that makes, instead of having actual practical, weapon design and everything else, Let's send it, let's make this unused, let's make this untested aircraft and we're going to put it all across the way. Or, we're all going to have different uniforms. We're going to have different camouflage uniforms. That gets, that's kind of stupid, isn't it? Let's go ahead and go back to this uniform. It's retarded. So there's plenty of things I can criticize about the military. But the thing is that if you really think that the United States military is strong, no, I'm just going to say no. You're looking at about 3 million folks, probably most of whom are not going to stay in for 20 years. Sorry for blowing out the mic there, but yeah, come on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they are not going to take that. Hell no. Hell to the nah. Oh, no, you can just, nah. Now, you're going to have me up in combat zone. They're going to try to question my vote. Oh, no. And then, I'm not sure.
You know what? Soldiers will do what the fuck they're told. All right. I'll tell you that right now. All right. I don't care if you're Private Snuffy or whatever the case may be. When your sergeant says, hey, Private, you're going to have to learn to play the game. And you know what he's going to have to do? He's going to have to suck it up. Period. Just like hurry up and wait and all that other shit that you learned in the Army. So don't give me that bullshit trying to talk some big. Once again, that's a failure of these boomer type Americans. I can't speak with this brother, but it sounds like, at least he's Generation X. There's a lot of Americans who are still brainwashed to think that America is somehow some strong nation or some strong military. No, it isn't. There are plenty of folks realize that bureaucracy and politics have destroyed cohesion immensely. But yeah, go ahead.
Sure why people were complaining about those votes anyways, because just like with Hillary Clinton, veterans went for Trump 2-1. In fact, most of the ballots are showing that veterans are still going for Trump heavy. So why would you want those ballots counted if you're trying to close the gap in Pennsylvania? I mean, there are some people out there who are so stuck on stupid, who are so stuck on these conspiracy theories I'm not calling them stupid. I'm saying they're behaving stupid. They're being stuck on stupid.
Just say that they're retarded. Just say no. I get tired of this with content creators, and I'm sounding like him now, but just call them stupid. Just call them fucking stupid. Let's stop trying to be nice and be like, I don't mean that they're stupid. No, you do mean that they're stupid. You mean that they're fucking retarded. Don't try to front on people like that. Don't try to lie. Come on, man. That's so unbecoming.
Is suggesting that you are stuck on that, but you can't. But that's not who you usually are. You could be smarter than that. You don't have to be stuck there. You can unstuck yourself. All right. There's some people out there who are so stuck on that, right? Who are so stuck on these conspiracy theories, right? To the point where they don't realize that the mail-in ballots that you're complaining about favors President Trump. Are you that willing to die on the hill to kill votes that help your cause?
Because the thing is that once again, it's about the Electoral College, as we found out. It's about them. It's not about the votes. Damn it, now I'm sounding like one of these shitlings who's like, we need to get rid of the Electoral College. I know it's fucking retarded, but goddamn. You know?
Are you that deranged? Are you that delusional? All right? These conspiracies, guys, I explained to you why Joe Biden lost. If you're confused about that, go watch my previous video and the previous video.
No, I'm not going to do that.
And even the live stream that came on November the 2nd, the day before the election, where I told you Joe Biden was going to win. I told you Georgia was going to play a huge role. I told you the black community was going to play a huge role. I told you that's going to be a problem.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, now I can say it after the fact and just be a loser. I know that just sounds like cope, but I kind of realized, I kind of felt that Joe Biden was going to win too. All right. The difference is I didn't realize what it was going to be like, you know? Yeah, like I say, there were plenty of folks who were really like, oh yeah, let's get ready for the shit posting. And then of course, all the cope came out and everything, but it's bullshit, you know? And of course, like I say, we are going to see Joe Biden bring in a lot of the neocons and everything else like that. People like Vosh, I was just listening to him talk with somebody. And it's like, they're going to pardon Donald Trump. Of course they are. Because, you know, they know that they would do something similar to what, you know, they don't want to be, you know, they want to preserve the presidency. I heard that from Bo the Fifth Column as well. You know, and the reality is that, yeah, you know, eventually Trump will just be like, all right, fine, fuck it. And he'll go back to, you know, Mar-a-Lago. You know, at least that's what my thinking was. But yeah.
You didn't listen. You got arrogant. You got cocky. President Trump did not reach out to no black folk using sensible tactics, things that I would suggest. You don't want to do that. You want to do it your way. You think that being a celebrity president means that reaching out to other celebrities means that it's going to change votes. The same way that you told LeBron James to shut up and dribble. The same way I'm telling Lil Wayne and Ice Cube and 50 Cent and Lil Pump to shut the fuck up and rap. If LeBron James has to shut up and dribble, then these rappers gotta shut up and rap then. Because I made a video about LeBron James, whereas I criticized him. I said shut up and dribble because of what happened with China. He wouldn't criticize China. He wouldn't lie about it, criticize China. And therefore, that's why I said it. I'm actually consistent. I don't care about what celebrities think. All right, when they have that whole election day aftermath special across.
This guy's coping. I'm not even going to watch these other videos. This guy sounds like he's coping hard. It's like, if you a hypocrite, just be a hypocrite, man. But it's like, you coping. You really feel like you got to defend yourself. My brother, why are you doing this? Oh, man.
Across the networks, you had people out there saying they're going to move to Canada. They're going to leave the country, all that stuff. I didn't care about none of that stuff. I made videos criticizing those people, and nobody had an issue with that. But all of a sudden, when I'm consistent, when I'm honest, when I tell the truth, now it's an issue. I'm not going to sit here and be delusional with you to support a narrative. Sorry.
All right, whatever.
Not happening.
Okay.
If that's what you want, you came to the wrong guy.
I mean, for me, speaking for me personally, I've accepted the fact that, you know, Joe Biden won. I've accepted that. What I also expect, though, is that, we're going to go back to, the sort of neo-lib type stuff. We're going to see, we've already seen Joe Biden kind of wink to Hollywood already with Julia Louis-Dreyfus and all this other business. We're going to see more of that. We're going to see more of Joe Biden, going to, these late night news hosts. They're going to dab on Trump at least for the next 6 months, I would say, give or take. Probably it's going to be real hard, and they're going to slowly wean themselves off and just be like, they're going to continue to talk about them. They're going to continue to find people to make fun of them, and they're going to slowly wean off. And the first issue I think that's going to come up, of course, is about who's going to be on his cabinet. He's going to choose, a lot of Republicans and a lot of Obama mentees and everything else, and a couple folks from the Bush administration. So I think it's going to be interesting, to say the least, when that sort of stuff happens. But yeah, I think that the United States, we're in a world of hurt. We'll put it that way, and nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, but something bad is going to happen. We know that. And Joe Biden is not going to help.
If you think that a man who leans to the right, voted for Trump, knowing that would get hate from the black community, going against the alt-right online, knowing that's going to get me hate from our own subscribers.
The alt-right. Oh, man. Why do you say alt-right in 2020? What alt-right exists in 2020? The TRS? I mean, like I say, the TRS doesn't really exist in that same way, dude. I mean, you got even, once again, it's kind of fun that you mentioned alt-right, because, of course, Richard Spencer voted for Biden, or at least is what he said, and he wanted to just come out strong about it. That's fine. But ultimately, like I say, he's, people still give him, but the thing is, you can't necessarily blame Richard Spencer all the way. You have to give the people that give him credit. I mentioned him more ironically. The fact is that people still give him credit. People still give him credibility. CNN still gives him credibility because he's on there. So what, I just don't get this whole thing where you think that the alt-right, I mean, the world has moved on. The internet has moved on from that time. Anyone with half a brain knows that time is done. We have moved on from that.
Where's demonic imagery? Open carries a gun. If you think I'm the guy that's gonna be fake for you, you came to the wrong channel. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna have a rough time here, and I would suggest that you leave. You could just look at me in the kind of daily attire that I wear, and you could tell I'm not gonna be fake for you. I'm not gonna kiss your ass. I'm not gonna just bullshit. I'm gonna give you the truth, raw and unfiltered. I'm devil's advocate. I say horns up all the time because that's to let you know what you're in for.
I don't give a fuck about how real you are. I don't give a fuck about how real. Sorry, I don't give a fuck about how real you are, bro. I just don't think you see. I guess you don't care about whatever narrative is going to happen. We're going to move on from Donald Trump, and we're going to see Joe Biden, and we're going to watch how he's not going to change that much. He's going to reach out. He's going to try to bring people in. I guess in some cases there's going to be more censorship. But it's interesting to say the least what happens with this. And you can see here that go ahead.
I make no secret about me being, abrasive, rude.
And he doesn't deserve. No one cares about tricky dick. No
secret about that. And yet, for some reason, some people just don't seem to get that. And I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna have a really rough time on this channel. So, to save your blood pressure, I suggest you go over to Brandon Tatum or Candace Owens or what do they call her, Red Pill Black, Candace, or well, you can't go over to who was that, the conservative thug, who was that guy? Can't remember. Oh, King Face. You can't go to him no more, and I think we all know why. If you don't know why, look it up. Look up King Face, HIV. The conservative thug. So you brought in all these conservative thugs, these red pill blacks, these black six. These,
I think I've heard of this dude.
Officer Tatums.
I think I vaguely remember this dude, but I don't. Like I said, go ahead.
You brought in all these people, right? And not one of them could help you. And yet, had you listened to people like me, you wouldn't be in this position to spread around conspiracy theories to explain your loss. So,
well, the thing is, it's just a revert. Like I say, this is just the way these things go. Dare I say it? This is going to be this may not be a great comparison, but I'm going to say it nonetheless. It's like with centralization versus decentralization of a military. The Red Army was very centralized in the early days. With the Politruks, aka the political commissars and everything else, had more power than the actual officers and NCOs and the Red Army. The Germans, at least in the early days, had much more operational freedom. After the early days in 1941 and hadn't really affected anything, people like Franz Halder were kicked out of the German army. Then Hitler became supreme commander. And that became very hectic, to say the least. And the German Wehrmacht in general did not have the same power. Whereas the Red Army realized their mistake. And so, the Politruks, aka the commissars, weren't given as much power. And the thing is, then you had the German version of commissars, to try to keep the strength and keep up the Nazi morale. And of course, that was one amongst many things. But it's the same thing with the failure that's going to happen. The thing is that people won in 2020, and you saw that once 2017 happened, and you saw Charlottesville. Charlottesville was a turning point for a lot of these white nationalists. Nowadays, of course, you have folks. There's only a couple of steps that the white nationalists have taken. They've definitely taken the black pill, and they either become more like third worldists. You've seen that guy, like that corn pop guy on Twitter, and they become like these sort of third worldist, sort of Nazbold type of folks. I guess that's kind of the route I've taken. Versus the people like Richard Spencer, who are just like we like the system. Yeah, we're going to vote for Biden, and we're going to just kind of that's how we're going to defend folks, by doing this. Because Wignats got deposed because of Charlottesville, mostly. There were also plenty of internal bullshit that happened with people like Christopher Cantwell, this and that, and doxing and everything else. Now, I don't think it's going to happen the same way, but I think that the left, speaking vague terms, something similar is going to happen with the left, where maybe some event, maybe it'll be internal, is going to happen. And we're going to see that, the left loses their power as well. I don't know. That may not happen. But we shall see. Maybe the true left will come up. Maybe the true Marxist-Leninist sort of left will rise up. And everything else. I don't know. Yeah, we'll keep it there.
I'm going to keep making these videos.
Yeah, go ahead.
I decided
Spencer's
that
a piece
I
of
want
shit.
to make
Yeah.
at least one polished video a week, like with a lot of animation and everything. But this format, maybe I
probably get kicked out of Fox News. Yeah.
I like this format. I don't script my stuff. I don't need a script.
Okay.
Unlike
boring. Okay. 202 views on a guy that has a channel that has 5.3 thousand subscribers. Whatever. Okay. Let's go ahead and see this one. Huh. Okay. Interesting. All right. Let's see what we got here. The Battle of Seattle, fought by the pro-war left in northern Syria. Yeah. Huh. Max Perry. I've heard that name before. The ongoing series of protests, riots, and unrest following the death of George Floyd culminated in the establishment of a self-declared autonomous zone. Okay. Although it is undeniable that American police have a brutality and racism problem, having been trained in Israel. Within weeks it was clear that what began as spontaneous protests were hijacked for an establishment agenda. Meanwhile, the ill-fated demise of the Seattle Commune should be understood as a symptomatic of a larger problem within the U.S. left as a whole. Maximilien Robespierre. The secret of freedom lies in educating people, whereas the secret of tyranny is keeping them ignorant. Paris Commune was established after the storming of the Bastille Fortress on July 4, 1789. Okay. Many have speculated as to why Mayor Jenny Durkan and the SPD seemingly allowed the protesters to occupy the neighborhood while they enjoyed direct support from local politicians such as Seattle City Council member Kshama Sawant of the Trotskyite Socialist Alternative Organization. Once again, Trots. The Trots always, It's hard to say who is worse for the left, the Trotskyists or the anarchists. It's a tough battle. It's a tough choice, Who fancies herself as the first socialist to win an election in the city since Anna Louise Strong in 1916. However, the more meaningful question is, what has this movement accomplished besides recoiling the U.S. working class further away from progressive politics? The biggest misconception across the political spectrum, especially on the right, is that leaderless, haphazard movement is somehow Marxist. Karl Marx's entire worldview was based on a material and scientific understanding of history focused on the class system, and would be spinning in his grave knowing what a mess identity politics has made in his name. In contrast, the wokeist cult at the center of the marches ignores both science and class with no political vision beyond destruction, vindictiveness, and the stifling of free speech. This is why the U.S. political establishment, which has been completely unable to implement the most elementary measures in providing health care and securing employment to Americans during the pandemic, is quite happy to jump on board a narrative that pits divisions of the working class against each other based on race, while wealth trickles up to the 1%. The Chop Chaz occupants reportedly established a reverse hierarchical social structure where whites, I remember this. This is the whole, if you're a white person, you ought to give $5 to the to the POC next to you. Yeah, preach. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, that was hilarious. There was also a diversity quota of centering certain individuals based on their ethnic background, gender, and sexual orientation to cede leadership roles at the co-op, with white participants coerced into overcoming their fragility or sensitivity in discussing racism. Concurrent with the protests, corporate consultant and University of Washington professor Robin DiAngelo, intellectually fraudulent book, White Fragility, shot to the top of the New York Times bestseller list and is a perfect example of how such identity politics fails in dealing with social issues. Collective punishment is never a suitable guiding principle in addressing social problems, nor is using a conception akin to the religious idea of original sin, where white privilege is the root cause of racism. There were even many reparations demanded of repenting white protesters, reminiscent of the collection plate passed around by worshippers in a church. This sort of bizarre and self-indulgent identity politics is much like what was widely mocked in a viral video of the democratic socialism. Yeah, exactly. Point of privilege. Oh, people laughed at that, yeah. What begins as protests against police brutality were not only derailed into efforts to set up communes in major cities, but a nationwide debate on statues after the wave of demonstrations and rioting across the country led to the Taliban-style destruction of historical monuments as perceived as glorifying racism. As a result, the toxic political atmosphere which surrounded the events in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017 was reignited. While the calls for the removal of Confederate statues erected during the Reconstruction era is long overdue, more debatable is the removal of those honoring slave-owning founding fathers such as George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, which were toppled in Portland, Oregon. This was followed by a State of Union General Ulysses S. Grant being knocked over in San Francisco, and calls to remove the Lincoln Memorial in D.C., two men who victoriously led the North in the Civil War. Regrettably, the prioritization of such iconoclastic gestures has not only defamed the protests, but diverted them from being real change to social inequities in the immediate future. This is not the first time we have witnessed this phenomenon. Last year, a more troublesome example were the calls to remove a historic mural at George Washington High School in San Francisco that were capitulated by the city school board. The 13-panel mural Life of Washington, painted in 1936 by Russian-American artist Viktor Arnotov, was commissioned as part of the Federal Art Project, a New Deal program funded by the Works Progress Administration, which employed visual artists to create works during the Great Depression. One controversial panel depicts George Washington pointing to a group of armed colonizers standing over the corpse of a Native American, while another fresco portrays two colonizers surveying land as slaves toil in a field. It would seem obvious to anyone that the mural is not only explicitly anti-racist, but representative of an important period in U.S. history where art was a force for social change and progressive politics was at the center of American life. Arnotov was a Russian immigrant who was an assistant to Mexican muralist Diego Rivera. Still, no matter the context or intent, the unflinching depiction of American history was deemed offensive to certain communities because students were triggered by the harsh realities illustrated. This might seem unrelated, but the same illogic is behind the vigilantism of the removal of statues. While the Arnotov mural is clearly anti-racist, and certain monuments may glorify slavery, the distinction is indecipherable to the social justice sect, which needs its safe space from the uncomfortable truths of American history. The differentiation between a left-wing WPA mural opposing racism and colonial statue commending it is illegible to them. The entire purpose behind the Arnotov mural is to make one uncomfortable because its subject matter is something no one should ever be at ease with. Yet its undeniable educational and artistic value does not prevent the San Francisco School Board from voting to paint over it, while articles were published in the New York Times, even The Nation magazine, applauding their decision. What on earth is happening to the left when it is censoring anti-racist art in the name of fighting racism? The whole point of education at a high school is to teach students to analyze and interpret subjects like art and history, not just emotionally react to them. When the very fabric of culture and society, like a historic mural or statue, can be torn down simply because people are upset by them, the next plausible step is book burning. San Francisco High School completely failed to educate its students when they decided upon the most backwards way of interpreting the mural, just as the protesters tearing down these statues did not use their faculties to understand them in a historical context. Genocide and slavery are indeed the foundations of the U.S., but we must learn from our tragic history to grasp the equivalent injustices happening today. Simply eradicating murals and statues that remind us of it, whether they oppose or elevate them, is totally ineffectual. While some activists have expressed concern, oh boy, this is long as hell. For the Google Doc. Okay. Yeah, discipline and beatings. Yeah, left needs to implement those. Yeah. Oh boy, I saw a video of an Eastern European, and his advice is greatly needed today. I believe it was discipline, and to round off beatings. Yeah, exactly. What is the solution? Yeah, solution to women? Yeah, beatings are common in Hojas, Albania. Discipline is hugely lacking in today's left. That's true. That is true. 2 decades ago, Seattle was the site of the 1999 protests against the World Trade Organization, often referred to as the Battle of Seattle, which saw 40,000 march against globalization. Some may recall that this was where the Black Bloc first became notorious for injecting vandalism and senseless violence into peaceful demonstrations, and were widely thought to have been infiltrated by law enforcement. In 2016, the current embodiment of Antifa first came to the attention during the protests on college campuses against speaking appearances by far-right media personalities during the U.S. presidential election, including at the University of California at Berkeley, which had ironically been the site of the free speech movement in the 1960s. Following Trump's decision, the stage was set in Charlottesville during the Unite the Right rally and counter-protests over the removal of a Robert E. Lee statue in August 2017 for Antifa to be crowned as heroes, shadowboxing the historical ghost of fascism. When the likes of the New York Times is suddenly promoting the Black Bloc, That's your first clue something else is afoot. In order to prevent the emergence of a truly progressive movement in the wake of Hillary Clinton's defeat, a false narrative was concocted by the political establishment about the significance of Trump's victory, which we were told was a result of alleged Russian meddling and the racism of deplorable Trump voters. Instantly, any critique of the system which produced Trump disappeared, and the establishment wing of the Democratic Party was able to neutralize the Bernie Sanders-led opposition in its ranks. As a result, the vast majority of the left became convinced by the interpretation. I'm not going to read every single bit of this. Let's go ahead and skip to the end here. Okay. Oh, this is just, okay. Oh, I was almost to the end. Okay. Sorry, yeah, this is all comments. Okay. Okay, okay, we're going to go ahead. Marx understood. Is this still a comment? Yeah, that's a comment. Okay. Ooh, boy. Okay, so yeah. Okay, yeah. So one other highly influential thinker in the anarchist community who purports himself to be a libertarian socialist, Noam Chomsky, was himself part of the Zionist kibbutz movement in his youth. This explains why Chomsky would call for a continuation of the U.S. occupation of northern Syria on the basis of protecting the Kurds, who are trying to repeat the formula used to found Israel to create a Syrian Kurdistan as another U.S. protectorate in the Middle East. It is no coincidence that in the manifesto listing the demands of the sit-in in Seattle, nowhere to be found is the defunding of the Pentagon, the primary supplier through the 1033 program of the militarized police violence being protested. The same cognitively dissonant left, calling to defend the police, which will almost certainly be used as a pretext to privatize them, completely ignores endless U.S. wars abroad and opposed efforts by the Trump administration to scale back expansionism in Syria. The focus of tearing down statues from America's colonial past has also coincided with Israel's preparations in colonizing what remains of the Palestinian territory with the annexation of the West Bank. Where are the mass protests to stop that? If Black Lives Matter dared to focus on AIPAC, oh boy, here we go. It would be shut down very quickly. In 2016, when BLM endorsed the Palestinian-led boycott, divestment, and sanctions campaign to boycott Israel, their previously enjoyed benefits suddenly were in jeopardy. I vaguely remember this too, and was revealed to be the direct result of sabotage by the Zionist lobby. In the last several decades, there has been a retreat of class-conscious forces in political life, especially after the fall of the Soviet Union. The degenerate form of the left that exists today is an unfortunate result of the academization of social values and the influence of the Frankfurt School and Frankfurt School cultural theorists whose bourgeoisification of Marxism reduced it to a lens by which to critique culture and the arts while removing its class politics. The politically correct obsession with the policing of language by the postmodern cult of identity politics is excluding the working class from the conversation and counteracting its revolutionary potential. The CIA fronts in the organization and the Open Society, Ford and Kellogg foundations of the nonprofit industrial complex have successfully corralled the protests while no substantial change has been made to the real ills in U.S. society, where the 1% has made trillions during the pandemic and subsequent economic depression, while the masses are busy tipping over statues and movements in a crusade to purify history, the ruling class laughing all the way to the bank. There you go. Pretty good. There's a lot of good stuff in there. I agree with most of it. I skipped over a lot of it, but yeah. Kaz back on Discord. What's your alt call? Did I give? Let's see here. Behold. Oh. Noam Chomsky was a Zionist. Yeah. Santa LaRue, so he can use it in the legal case against Trump. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, let me see. Boop, 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 boop. It is I. Oh, behold, it is I, Kaz. Oh, okay. I'll give you the moderator too. We'll just go ahead and, yep. Let's go ahead and do it all. Okay. Huh. Trump is gone. Oh, okay. I want just the crab. Who cares? Okay. But yeah. Oh, Cornhole fan. Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you one too. Why not? We'll just be stupid about it. There you go. Yep. Okay. But they didn't vote for Biden. Yeah. Give Kaz and Cornholio fan. Yep, I got him. Yep. Game week cures cancer. Yep. I got him. I gave him the wrenches. We're good. But yeah. So there we go with that. I mean, yeah. Game week cures cancer. Yeah. Wrench gang expands. Yep. Now everyone can, even if I don't get to the links in time, y'all go ahead and share it amongst each other. I think that works out pretty well, doesn't it? So even if I'm just rambling about something, someone can go ahead and click on a link and get some other info. I think that's pretty good. What do y'all think? I think that kind of opens things up a little bit. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. All right, I'm getting kind of sleepy. But yeah, that's some pretty good stuff there. I think I've pretty much talked myself out here a bit, but yeah. Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah, it's weird how they can. Yeah, where they were celebrating Joe Biden. Yeah, it is weird because ultimately Joe Biden is going to be so awful. And I think definitely, like I said, there's going to be some incident that's going to happen where the left further destroys itself. I really do think that. Yeah, Dallas Juchik with wrenches characteristics. Yeah. Yeah. Can't click on his profile as well. Huh. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I think they were trying to roll back the culture before 9/11. Yeah, they definitely are. That's very true. I think that they're just trying to undo everything that happened with Trump and even before that. But we can't go back to that time. We can't. The internet has changed so many of us, The internet has changed all of us. Good, bad, right, or wrong. Are you guys bowl pilled? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I have, yeah. That's honestly how I feel. It's just kind of like, yeah, wash your bowls. You got me on that one. Yeah. Well, I could explain it, but it's a little too personal. I'm not going to get into that. But basically, yeah, I'm just kind of dirty, but yeah. Oh my goodness. Is there anything else? I always get to this point. It's just like, okay, is there anything else y'all want me to talk about? The internet has fucked my mind and numbing. Oh yeah, absolutely. Me too. Yeah, me too. I mean, I see these protests and whatnot, and honestly, it's just kind of like, it's just that's our version of circus and peanuts, watching these people rioting in the streets. Okay, yeah, I will explain the whole thing about bowl pilled. Is that basically my mom came up and she was showing me the bottom of the bowl because it was still wet at the bottom because I just gotten through washing the dishes. And basically I hadn't cleaned it off. Well, I appreciate that, Manny. I do. But basically, I hadn't cleaned it off, and there's all these shavings in the bottom of the place where we put our bowls. So we picked it up, and it had all this stuff on the bottom. And she's just like, you got to make sure that, it's dry first, basically. That's what she was saying, yeah. But yeah. He says it's impossible to fix the economy, but we can hug each other. Yeah, Libs vote them in after writing them in. Yeah, exactly. That's the way it is. I mean, people just think that because Joe Biden is going to be more bourgeoisie, that it's going to be easier to get people over to the left. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole idea. Yeah, go ahead and link your channels. Why not? Go ahead. I mean, I follow a lot of y'all already, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah, link them. Why not? We'll just go ahead and finish up here pretty soon. I'm just kind of ranting and raving. We'll just kind of do it this way. It's pretty open, though, like I say. That way, y'all can share links and this and that, and that's just the way the internet is, right? Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, I felt the yawn coming. Okay. I felt the yawn coming. It's a good meme. Never let the bull meme die. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, why not? Go ahead. Go ahead, guys. We all need to jump into a stream one day. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. One day, right? Yeah, one day. Oh, what else? I think that's about it, though, really. Like I said, I should do some more reading on this, that Chris Murphy guy. I think Chris Murphy is definitely going to be, someone that a lot of folks are going to be talking about in the same way, obviously, that they're talking about, I can't remember his name now. But anyway, I do think it's actually important. Yeah. Definitely. Yep, Lennon knew about libs. Yeah, that's true. And unfortunately, though, people like Vosh will take it out of context and try to make it his own. Yeah. But yeah, there you go. I think that's all I really got to say, ultimately. Like I said my piece on that. I'm glad, I'm glad I'm starting to get some links now from y'all and everything. I think that's good. I will look at this last one, though. I'll look at this last one right quick. Just bring with basin. Absolutely. I'll go ahead and look at this last one right quick. I know it's kind of, we're going to skip past that. But basically, this is from, this is a letter. Yeah, this is Zero Schizo. This is a letter from, Jesus. I can't think of his name. But basically, we celebrate the 90th anniversary of the birth of Ernesto Che Guevara. Internet reacted in a surprisingly strange manner. The majority posted something on his memory, and his enemies were reduced to two categories: liberals and However, let's go deep into this. Where is Che Guevara placed in the framework of left and right? Isn't this figure significant in the aspect of his synthesis? Okay, what is the key? Okay. But still, I think that's that's interesting nonetheless. But yeah, I think that Will DeMarco did post on that earlier. But yeah, give Kaz a Cornhole fan. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is okay. This is way. Yeah, this is way okay. Yeah, that's way behind. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, but yeah. You can go ahead and do that. Yeah, but I'm glad that y'all get to. You can share back and forth this and that. I don't know. I'm getting sleepy now. Sorry. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end it. But yeah, I honestly, I just wanted to make sure that everyone got their, am I taking song requests? Not right now. No, we'll try to do some the next stream. How about that? Next stream, we'll do some song requests and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm going to try to find some more information. Like I said, on this Chris Murphy guy. Yeah. Sorry for not posting any videos recently. I'm having tech difficulty. It's all good. Don't worry about it, Ball. You got things to do. So it's all right. But yeah, I think we'll keep it there, everybody. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it there. And y'all have a good night. I'm about to go to sleep because I'm already dragging. But yeah, we'll go ahead and end it there. And I hope y'all have a good rest of the day or good rest of the night, wherever time it is in the world where you are. See you later and goodbye. We'll go ahead and do it that way. All right. See you later, folks.